Good morning from Bobblehead Homestead. I am Jeff. Today is Sunday. It is cooler and cloudy, and it's early morning. So I don't know. I think it's supposed to be in the 50s today. Yesterday was pretty warm during the mid-afternoon. It was probably high 60s yesterday too. So yeah, bonus. Gotta love the weather around here. Oh wow! I did a ton of work last night and didn't film any of it. It was dark. What are you gonna do? I went from 2 flocks yesterday to 3 flocks today. So let's talk about that. First up this morning, what we see here is that's one Welsomer hen, and she got out of the coop this morning. I didn't want to let her out, but see, all of this is a long story. So I've got the 3 chicks that number 2 hatched. They roost in there with the Welsomers at night. So this morning I let those 3 out because they'll get picked on if I leave them in there. And so I let those 3 out, and they are, I don't know where they're at. They're roaming around with their mommy number 2 somewhere. So what I've been doing for, I don't know, 3 weeks now is first thing in the morning I'm closing them in at night, and then first thing in the morning, I'm letting these 10 baby chicks out. These are the 10 that I hatched in the incubator, and so yeah, first thing in the morning, I let them out. I just lift up their little brooder thing, and they can, most of them figure out how to scurry under it. And then I'll let them, free range for a little bit while the Welsomers are in the coop, so there isn't any fight to the deaths, and then I'll feed them, and all the little twerps will run back into their brooder. So, and I'm about to do that. Okay, so that first up, what happened in here last night? Well, I took 4 Welsomer hens out of here, and I took the younger rooster out of here. So I went in the middle of the night, physically picked them up and moved them. The 4 Welsomer hens I put back there in that coop. The younger Welsomer rooster I moved over to that coop. And Wild Berry, I moved him to that coop in the back. So now I've got Wild Berry in that coop in the back. I've got the older Welsomer rooster in here. And I have the younger Welsomer rooster over there. As far as the hens go, my 4 Whiting True Blue hens and Vicki Lawrence are still in that coop. And some of the 8 chickens that she hatched in that coop in the back. I have Wild Berry. I have 4 Welsomer roosters, and then a few of the baby chicks that Vicki Lawrence hatched. And now in here, I have the older Welsomer rooster, 4 Welsomer hens, and the 3 chicks that number 2 hatched. Yeah, it's all so confusing. Also, in preparation of dividing my 2 flocks into 3 flocks, I put up my 3rd electric fence last night. So that is, you can see the fence going around the new chicken coop. So yeah, that took some rearranging, and I did that while I had to wait until they had gone into their coops for the night and close them in, and then I could start rearranging the fencing. So oh man, and trying to figure out 3 fences to make 3 paddocks, and they've got to be linked together, so you got to match up endpoints, and oh, that was fun. I got it done. And okay, in that corner, that corner is where 2 fences meet. The one that goes off to the left goes on the far side down here and forms that border of this coop, and right there 2 fences meet right by my blue tub where I keep the battery, the energizer, and the grounding rod. And then the fence going off to the left here goes all the way, forms this border, keeps going around, It's forming this front border all the way around and then back to that corner. And that corner I have 2 fences meeting, and then going to the left, the third fence goes on the back side all the way over. It comes in here to divide off this paddock to the right, and then it goes over towards the front of that coop to divide off the paddock to the left, and then it goes to that corner and provides the border along that side of that third paddock. So yeah, a lot of fence moving last night. So why was I moving roosters and hens around last night? I am setting up the breeding flocks. I want Wild Berry, he's a Welsomer. I want him to breed with 4 of the Welsomer hens and provide me with Welsomer offspring. I chose the hens based on their comb size and other traits, but mostly the comb size. One of the big complaints about Welsomers is their combs get too big. And I would say Wild Berry's comb, for the standards of perfection, Wild Berry's comb is probably too big, and it is too far forward on his head. So his wattles are also a little bit big. Same is true of my other Welsomers. So one thing you can do to improve that characteristic in the future is, if you've got a rooster whose comb and wattles come down the side are too big, you choose hens whose comb and wattles are small. And so hopefully that will it won't be 100%, but maybe you'll find a few chicks in there that have the better size wattles and combs that are better placed on their heads also. So I put Wild Berry in there with the 4 Welsomer hens that had the smaller combs. I left the older Welsomer rooster in there with 4 Welsomer hens, and so now I can get basically 2 lines of Welsomer chicks in the future. Different parentage, blah blah blah. I can keep that cycle going for many generations, and so that's cool. I got Wild Berry, and I got 2 Welsomer breeding flocks, thanks to Wild Berry being out of the family. And he's a pretty good specimen. I wish his legs were a little bit wider apart. I wish his body was a little bit longer and his back was a little bit flatter. His comb angle coming off seems to be pretty good. Let's see, he's got some meaty thighs. And then his personality is great. He's never come at me or shown any type of aggression towards me. He's light on the hens. None of them have missing feathers. He hasn't fought with the babies, so his personality and his temperament are also something that I enjoy. So yeah, Wild Berry will be breeding with 4, and then I've got the older rooster. He'll be breeding with those 4 Welsomers. And so then I've got the younger rooster over here with my Whiting True Blues. He'll now become part of my olive egger program. I don't know that I'll hatch any of his babies anytime soon, because I've got 1st generation olive eggers running around like crazy around here. So at some point what I will do is take one of those cockerels, one of those young roosters that are our 1st generation olive egger, either the 8 that Vicki Lawrence hatched, or one of the 3 that number 2 hatched, or one of the 10 that I hatched. At one point I'll pick the best rooster out of those, and I'll breed that rooster with one of the sets of Welsomer hens. And breeding that 1st generation olive egger rooster to the Welsomer hens will give me 2nd generation olive eggers, which will lay a darker olive egg color, and then hopefully those hens will be more marketable. So I can have Well, and that takes coordination, because if I have, for instance, wild berry in there with one of the first generation olive eggers, when I hatch those eggs, I won't know who the father is. So I'll have to, you really, when you're doing breeding, you can, if you want to know who the father is, you need to only have one rooster in with those hens. So that's where the fourth coop will come in handy, because if I've got more than I've only got 3 coops. So really, it's hard to keep 4 or more roosters in the 3 coops if you want to know who the father is. So in the future, I'll have to figure that out. Oh, what else can I tell you about this? Yeah, I moved them in the middle of the night. I moved 2 of the roosters. I moved 4 of the hens. I moved some of the babies. They're not babies anymore. They're 4 months old. The 8 chickens that Vicki Lawrence hatched. Let's see, I put one of the hens over here and 2 or 3 and 3 of the cockerels. They are already getting along with wild berry, those young cockerels. So I figure, okay, I should put most of the young cockerels in with wild berry, since they all get along. Now I put the younger Welsummer rooster in there, and he's the new dude in there. They don't know him. They've never been with him. So I didn't want to, I left, I think I left 1 or 2 of the young cockerels in there. Hopefully they won't fight. It seems to be going great this morning. Nobody in the Whiting True Blues with the younger Welsummer rooster. None of them are fighting. Vicki Lawrence is also in there. They're all getting along. Now, wild berry, the 4 Welsummer hens, and the I got 3 of the young cockerels and 1 of the young pullets. I moved them in the middle of the night. First thing this morning, 1 of the young cockerels was bullying the Welsummer hens. So that's, a lot of times you get the suggestion to move your, if you're combining flocks or switching them around, to do it at night. Yes, that's incomplete advice though. First thing in the morning, they're going to start at each other, if that's in their personality traits. And so it's you need to do more than just introduce them at night. You need to be up before they're up, because as soon as they're up, they're going to start picking on each other, especially if they are locked into a coop. So once you open those coop doors, they've got more places to flee, and they will still be picking on each other, but they won't be able to get cornered in a coop, and it can really get worse. In fact, I think, yeah, the 4 Welsummer hens in that coop, they're still up on the roost. They're not getting down. They're staying safe, because that 1 young cockerel was picking on them. And so if I can catch him today, I'll probably move him back over to his original place. If not, I'll go back in there tonight and snag him and move him. I don't know. You just gotta, there's no perfect way to blend flocks. There's always going to be some skirmishes as far as that goes. Okay, yeah, see, I can talk about chickens all day, and these 10 little twerps, yeah, I call them twerps. They're out having fun, but it's about time for them to get fed so I can let out those Welsummers out of their coop. Because again, these little dudes, they just get picked on. So I let them out in the morning, and then Bob, you always got to get in on the act, Bob. Dude.